Do, do, do. I remember how it all began. I used to sing dirty raps to my East Side fans in Oakland. You know, I go way back to cool nut fat stains and Cadillacs. Well, homeboys put Vogues on any car with 6 9s, smoking burner. I don't know, man. I've just been on my too short, man, lately, man. I love short dog, man. I used to listen to in the trunk every day. But let's get this started, man.
Equality versus equity. Equality means every child gets a pair of shoes. Equity means every child gets a pair of shoes that fit. That means every school district has to meet every student's individual needs.
I'm Jerry O'Green with the Black Student Advocate. We advocate for black employees and black students within the K through 12 school districts. We hold school districts accountable to make sure that black students and employees are in a fair and equitable workplace.
Peace. Welcome back to Humanity Works Podcast. I need not say who I am. If you follow the show, you know, hey, my name is Jahad Messiah Youssef. I'm the host. So, and first of all, man, shout out. I've been slipping, for breast cancer, those who survived this, those who are dealing with it. Pink is a powerful color, man. So anybody going through it, especially the women, you have my heart. Shouts out to you. For those who've beat it, congratulations. Praise be to God. And those who are dealing with it, you shall overcome this. And you might want to check out this story. This is the movie. I think it's on BT Plus. It's called God's Grace, and it's talking about the true story of Sheila Johnson and how African American women, Afro American women, or women of color were kind of dealt with a different double standard and cards in that industry as far as figuring out how to detect breast cancer. Because genetically, DNA wise, we're not the same, and a lot of things in America is based on the lab work of the European. It's nothing to really point fingers at. As time goes on, medicine begins to advance, technology begins to advance, and she fought her fight for sisters, for black women, so who's dealing with the breast cancer issue. So, man, I'm rocking my pink today. And listen, October shouldn't be the only month we just celebrate and honor those who have dealt with breast cancer. It should be year long, all right, not just October, in my opinion. But check out that movie. That was a real good movie. It actually touched me. It just popped up and I watched it and I got a heart for it. I'm a dad girl. So basically, ladies, you asked for it. I did the last episode. And, before I go in there, I just want to say something too, man. I do have an episode that's coming up that's going to be real dear to my heart. And it's going to be talking about, because this platform is for parenting. Mainly for men, but I can open this up for the women as well too. I want to be universal, but we have really got to learn how to reinstall family values in our children, because when Big Mama and Papa died, it died with them, and things begin to change. Families begin to change. Our cultures, our dynamic traditions that we follow for years begin to diminish. Some traditions can be relieved, but not all. Right? There are some things that are just proven. And as I look back on the elders who have passed along, you really don't realize how great they were, how beautiful of a presence, how blessed you were of God to have them in your life to teach you and give you the guidance of the things that you need as you got older. Because now that I'm older and I'm a grandfather, my children are older, I kind of look back on how the ancestors did things. And you know what? I say technology is always advancing, but man is not. We're basically become almost illiterate to human contact, human culture, how to honor, value, and love one another. And they don't even have to be family members. Just as a human society, as a species, man, we're just decayed and declined. But that's something that a lot of people say the Bible has prophesied these things. But, there's nothing new under the sun, man. So with that being said, I want to give a shout out to family, who's still family, those who believe in God, that also believe in the reality of man that they see every day, and know how to treat people right. So just moving forward, man, I always say, man, if the only time you see relatives is at a funeral, them ain't family members. Those are attendees. Keep that in mind. That's the only time you see them is at sad functions and funerals. Those are not family members. Those are attendees. I see family members quite often and on the regular. Those are family members. If we can't see each other often, a lot of us stay in different states, pick up the phone and call somebody. Because I'm telling you, man, I witnessed the things that my father's dealing with the loss of his brother, close friends, relatives. My dad, sometimes we talk, you feel like he's the last of the Mohicans left. You know what I mean? And I kind of can see that because I'm losing a lot of my peers and people dropping left and right. So it makes you really start to think about mortality. It makes you think about the other side of life. So that's just something to consider too. But okay, ladies, you got it. You said, hey, you always talking about the ladies and the 10 types of women that men should avoid. You said, what about the ladies? No problem. Let's get it started. And the reason why I could do an episode like this, because again, I'm a girl dad. I have 4 daughters, 4 beautiful daughters that I'm proud of. They ain't always been perfect. I've allowed them to make mistakes. I've told them the truth. I never lied to them about anything, whether it was sex, men, religion, education, whatever they wanted to do. I've always supported them in it. And, my children, as they've gotten older, they've taken their own separate paths in life. And I support each and every last one of them. Whether I agree with it or not, it's not really up to me to decide. It's their life to live, and I support each and every last one of them. However, me being a girl dad, and I just said earlier that I'm a grandfather, you have to know that I was presented with young men. My daughters, they'll meet a young guy, and they'll be like, Daddy, this is my friend. This is my boyfriend. And ladies, girls, listen. When y'all bring a young man around us, especially the men, don't be talking about, well, Dad, we're friends. We know y'all fucking. We know you're having sex. Like, just keep it real. Like, this is my friend, Dad. I mean, like, come on, get out of here. However, with me being a grandfather, I'm gonna size the dads up, and my daughters, you always try to teach your daughters how to make good, wise decisions when it comes to men. And I'm a realist. I don't care what you teach your daughter, how much you tell them. You understand? Once your daughters start having sex, everything you tell them goes to English, to wah, 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 wah. And especially if they fall in love. We've all been there. Moms too. They always try to keep you away from the bad boy. And, then they turn around and have a baby by the bad boy. And they loved him being a bad boy until responsibilities came into play. And now it's I hate him. I can't stand him. I want to put him on child support. And all. And I don't even agree with that when we told you that this young man may not be ready to be in a committed relationship. This young man may not be ready to be a father. But you go and do it anyway because he's so cute, Daddy. And you don't know him, Daddy. And I love him. And I see the potential in him. And that's what we want to talk about today is the 10 types of men, women who are constructive, need to avoid. Because let's keep it real, man. Like a lot of women, when I was in my 20s, they were on their education grind. They were going to school. I was still trying to figure it out. They're serious about life. They're serious about starting families. They're serious about their careers. Most men, we don't figure it out until like maybe in our 30s, right? So this is something that women need to avoid because one thing I always hear when women say, man, I spent years in with this guy and I helped build this guy and helped send him to school and I paid for this. And then all of a sudden when he got on his feet, he left me for a bum bitch. I hear it all the time. So, and this list is not a sweeping indictment of all men. All right. So let's get into the first one. Now, the personal trainer. All right. Now, ladies, keep in mind, most of these men that I'm about to name, these prototypes of men is just basically for women who's looking to start family, women who are looking for commitment, women who want to be in love. Now I'm talking about the true essence of want to be committed. Not some of y'all just want to be married and then go do your thing. This is for the woman who's serious about career, serious about family, right? And a man that is going to value you, to treat you the right way and love you the right way. But the personal trainer, flat out, ladies, he's a hoe. I know plenty of personal trainers, you know what I mean? And there's been some women who've asked me to help get them in shape. And, I've done it a couple of times. And, man, it's a relationship. These guys invest into what a woman wants to look like to make her feel better about herself, to feel better valued, right? And it's a relationship you developing. They see these women all the time, and at the end of the day, if this guy is single, like, he's going to smash, you know what I mean? So... And I know a lot of guys, I know a lot of trainers, I'm going to have to hear when I go to the gym, like, yo, the red, that wasn't really cool, man. But let's just keep it real, man. Men, it's more women than men. Men are going to have multiple women nowadays, unless it's just a woman that he just solely really loves and wants to be with, commit with. Men have women. And so if he's a personal trainer, not saying that he's a bad dude, personal trainers are good for your health, their nutrition. They teach you how to eat right. They transform your body. And a lot of times women fall for personal trainers because, again, when you have a value, you last forever. If you're just attractive, you're on a timeline. You're going to expire because you won't look the same all the time. So trainers have value in women's life, but at the same time, personal trainers have multiple women, right? So if you decide to date a trainer, if you want to marry a trainer, that's on you. It just depends on what's his purpose for being a trainer. Why is he training women? What's the end goal? Some guys out here training to get ass. You know what I mean? But some guys out here training because they genuinely love to see people healthy and fit. This is genuine. All right. So this is one of the guys I tell women all the time. Like, if you want to deal with a trainer, and I used listen, one of my roommates used to be a trainer, and this dude had hoes, a whole bunch of hoes. I ain't saying no names, but listen, I say this much: when I first moved to Atlanta, and I moved in with my homeboys, like 3 of us at one point. It might have even been 4, but you know what I'm saying? We was renting out a house, and we had a bucket. And in the bucket was nothing but rubbers. You know what I mean? Because we was doing our thing. But the trainer in the house, he was pretty much using up most of them because he had hoes. So ladies, like that personal trainer, he's going to have women. You know, if he has multiple clients, you know, women going to become attracted to him because he's helping them become a better self, better version of themselves. You know, no different than a coach at times, right? So the trainer, but not all trainers, right? So look, I don't need y'all run up on the gym, man. Run up on me at the gym, man. Right, getting ready to try to beat me up and jump on me. You know, all y'all muscle bound boys bigger than me anyway, man. Stop tripping, man. You know, you still gonna get your fair share of ass. The next one is the metrosexual. I really want to put this story on air, man. When I first met my grandson's father, bro. Like, honestly. And, you know, ladies, I ain't gonna even lie. I feel for y'all. A lot of times I understand why so many women, not just black women, just women, period, are so disappointed in men nowadays because they're not the same. They're not the same. Metrosexuals is basically a pretty boy. One who likes to keep his hair done. Motherfucker even get his nails done and glossy. And ain't nothing wrong with manicures and pedicures. I get pedicures and manicures myself. Well, not manicures, but pedicures, whatever. But, you know, they go to the point to where, you know, they in the mirror more than they women. And some of these guys get their eyebrows arched. You know, some people even would think I get my eyebrows arched, but I don't. But I'm just saying they like to look, they like to be pretty. You know, they like to make sure their hair is cut, trim, groomed. Some women go crazy over these silver foxes, these guys in their 50s and OGs that dress good, smell nice, manicured beards, right? But to what length does that boil over to true masculinity and manhood, or is it just a look? If a man is in the mirror more than his woman, that's an issue. If a man's main goal is to be prettier than his woman, that's an issue. Like, a lot of guys will even go get hair transplants because they're scared of going bald. Like, I understand a woman, but bro, if you going bald, just cut that shit off. You got a hole in your ceiling, you got a hole in your roof, let it go, bro. It should not be, a man should not be on the level of vanity or vain like a woman. You know, now there's a difference between being a metrosexual and somebody that's just as clean cut and sharp. Every time you walk out the house, you clean, you sharp, you presentable. You know, you got on slacks, hard bottoms, you know, a blazer, a tie, a fedora. You might have some specs on, cologne. I get that. But you metrosexual dudes, oh my God. I'm telling you, man, just pretty boys. And like, if he, like, when y'all both go to bed, y'all both soft. Like, where's the man? Where's the roughness? One thing I can respect about my second oldest daughter, when she came to Atlanta one time, she was like, "Daddy, where the niggas at?" I'm like, that's raw, you know. But we had that kind of relationship. She's like, "Daddy, I want a man that's dirty fingernail, been working all day, and in some boots and jeans." I said, "I feel you. You know what I'm saying? You want a man." But at the same time, man, you hit a generation of men who want to be as pretty as women, who want to look good as women. You know, who put a lot into a look like a woman. Now, to each his own, man, but don't bring me I tell my daughters, man, don't bring that home to me. You know, it's okay for a brother to kind of present himself, look nice and decent. I like to look nice and presentable and decent at times. Hell, even my daughter's mom like, dude, you need to start putting on slacks. Like, you 50 years old. You got to have slacks or something in your closet, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I get that. But one thing I ain't finna be doing, I ain't finna be in the mirror putting on all kind of facial scrubs and creams. I ain't finna be getting no hair transplants. I ain't finna be walking around with sandals with my toes all out, completely unprepared for an aggressive attack or anything that could come upon me. You know what I mean? If I have to get a flat tire, can you imagine a dude on the side of the road with his feet all out trying to fix a flat tire like a woman would? You know, I'm not going to do all that. I spend thousands of dollars on expensive clothes and pants, and just for somebody to say, "Oh, you looking good today." Like, yo, I'd rather a woman just be like, "Yo, you're a handsome looking dude," rather than "You look good," almost like them gay dudes be like, "Bitch." Be like, nah. We're not doing that one. So the metrosexual dude is one you might want to be aware of. And you might want to watch out. And when your lip gloss gone, he might be the one wearing it and walking around or some shit like that. So the metrosexual guy is one I would avoid, ladies. The next one, the mama's boy. And I know a lot of women probably fell back in their seat on this one. They probably clap their hands. They probably screaming at the top of their lungs. Listen, the mama's boy is a true bitch made nigga. Because at the end of the day, especially if he's married, he's never going to put you before his mama. If y'all having issues in y'all relationship, anything going on, you have to make a critical decision about life, your home, whatever you got going on. His mama's gonna be the biggest influence, and she should not have more influence over you. You know, even the Bible talks about a man leaves his home and clings to his wife. But you have a lot of men who give their mom so much grace. They give them so much precedence in their life that sometimes it outrules the better greatness of the relationship or their logic. And the mama's boy, sometimes too, a lot of single women, and I have to say this because a lot of these men are dealing with issues with women. A lot of these women, y'all raise y'all sons to be suckers to women, but sometimes that could be an issue in that relationship. That mama's boy has done so much for him that by the time you inherit him, he expects you to do the same thing his mama did. I dealt with a lady one time. I'm telling you, I dated this Jamaican chick, right? And she had a son, and I never seen no shit like this before in my life. You know, I'd come home from work. She'd make his plate, wouldn't have my plate made. You know, I working to pay bills, keep the family together. You know, she would prep and iron his clothes, do his laundry. But for me, I had to do all this on my own. Now, you know, we live in a different world. You know, women are not different like they were back in the day. Well, women kind of took care of the home. But we all know that now roles are pretty much could be male and female nowadays. But it was weird to me because she loved her son. And I hear a lot of women say, well, I love my son like my husband. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an issue. That is a major red flag. And so I thought to myself, when this boy get old and get out there on the scene and he deal with any young lady that ain't gonna do the shit his mama did, it's gonna be an issue. Sometimes a lot of these mama boys become violent and put their hands on women. You understand? And that's another thing you need to be aware of. Does he have a history of violence? Pay attention to the relationship he has with his mother, his sisters. You know, if he has children, pay attention to the relationship he has with the children of the mother of his children, and see just his temperament. But the mama boys, listen, I tell a lot of women, why don't you just marry your son? You know what I mean? Because it's going to be an issue for a young lady who, when she gets older and she's looking for that male counterpart to procreate with, to marry, to make a life with, and the mama has the most influence, it's going to be an issue and a problem every single time. Because 9 times out of 10, the girlfriend, the wife, she's going to outlive the mother. And when the mother's long gone, then what you got? So watch out for the mama's boys. The mama boys, man, they ain't really been built on much. They ain't really been taught. Like, I know one time this lady, I was on a radio interview, and the lady was bragging about, she said, well, a single woman can raise her son. And I said, well, I didn't say that, ma'am. But I said, well, what did you teach your son? She said, well, I taught him how to cook food. I taught him how to fold clothes. I taught him how to go shopping. I said, but you didn't teach him nothing with a hammer. You didn't teach him nothing with a screwdriver. Does he know what a dipstick is under the hood of a car? You ever showed him how to change the tire? And right there on the spot, I just shut her completely the fuck down. But she wanted to make it known that, you know, that's my son. I taught him well. But you taught him, like, to me, that's like really feminine. And, you know, when you're a single man, you have to know how to fold your clothes. You have to know how to cook. But it came from a sentiment of feminism. You want your son feminine. And that's another thing. The mama boys, they emotional. They not in control of their emotions. Because, I mean, women are emotional naturally. Masculine energy, and sometimes a lot of men are emotional, but most of the times you're going to inherit the right type of masculine energy from a man. But a lot of times the mom be too emotional to put logic in their son, and then you got to deal with a grown ass baby. Y'all might have babies together, so be mindful of the mama's boy. All right, the struggling rapper, boy, I can't tell y'all, man. Listen, I can't tell you. Listen, black community, let's please, young men, will y'all just stop rapping, please. Drake is already out here. Future's already out here. Gucci, man, they already exist. Like, I'm not saying you can't be the next big thing, but the struggling rapper, he is delusional. He is unrealistic. He does not want to work. He has the same vision every other guy that's trying to rap in the world. I'm that one. I'm that one special talent. I'm going to make it. The record company's going to see me. They're going to like my demo. Bro, it's not going to happen. When you have a struggling rapper, all right, you would rather be with a man who's creating some type of revenue or generate some type of money based on his underground credentials, things that he set up as a ghostwriter, you know, independent tours, independent albums, than a guy that actually wants to be the next big thing that's out there. Because when it's all said and done, I'm trying to stop saying those same old cliches. When it's all said and done, you're gonna catch a lot of his burden he's not willing to tote. I see it all the time. He's always on tour. He's always on the road. He's always on a flight, right? He's not making no money. He might get a little cash here and there. Here you are at the house hoping that one day he makes it big. While the bills are still stacking up, the children are going unattended. He's not present for ball games. He's not present for parent-teachers meeting because he's still on that grind. I'm grinding. And this motherfucker's 40 years old. Or at least in his middle 30s, right? Tell me I'm lying. That struggling rapper, man, is something else. And there's a lot of guys that I admire, guys who are still working, maintaining, that's still trying to make their career happen. Those guys, to me, make more sense than a guy who just says, you know what, I'm going on a limb, I'm stepping out on faith, I'm going to make it. No, you're not. No, you're not. Listen, this rap game is controlled. And do you know the level of evil that you must commit to be up there in that club with the multi-millionaires and status? Do you know what you must sacrifice to be there? You talking to a man I did this before my kids started getting grown, I walked away. Right? Anybody that knows from St. Louis, the soul of me, we were big. We were coming up around the time Nelly and them did. We wasn't the biggest Nelly. We never got to that level. We was in Source Magazine, Double XL, rap pages. We were in Blaze. We were on tour. But before my kids got old and grown, I kind of saw the writing on the wall like, yo, we're not going to make it, fellas. I'm done. And I told them I didn't want no parts. We were presented with something, was an opportunity to make a lot of money as a group. And I declined. And it split us up so bad. We was at Rush Community College, and I think it's Holly Springs, Mississippi. We drove back to St. Louis in separate vehicles. That's how bad it was. So I'm not telling you something that I think I know. I'm telling you something that I know. Struggling rappers are going to be a problem in your life. They're going to be a headache. They're going to be a burden. Trust me. And if you do make it, you got to think about everything that comes with the money, success, and fame. Do you really want that? Honestly. So watch out for that struggling rapper, because most of them are not dealing with the mind of logic. They are on a whim and a dream and think they are the next big thing coming, and it may never happen. All right. And you spend 10, 15, 20 years supporting his goals, supporting his dreams while you put everything else on hold. And when it don't work out, you can kind of look at this dude a certain type of way. Like, I did all this and this never happened. A lot of times women will make suggestions like, babe, I know you're on your dream, but can you start to at least do this? Can you consider this? And most of the times, most of these struggling rappers will have they'll have a bigger name than they will a bank account. So now it's presentation. He can't work a job because he needs people to think that he's making money off this EP that's blowing up on Spotify, IG, Facebook, YouTube, but he's still really not making no money. So you got to kind of look out for that struggling rapper. The next one, the unaccomplished athlete. Listen, I did an episode some time ago, like, man, I'm telling black men, you don't have to look at your life as a failure because you didn't make it in professional sports. However, how many tryouts is enough? Right? I know a lot of unaccomplished athletes. And when I say unaccomplished, not that they haven't achieved certain things, like at least going to college, playing on a major platform, but they never made it to the big dance. They never got to the NFL. They never got to the NBA. You know, they never got that prize fight that they worked so hard to deserve because he got knocked out two fights ago, or Major League Baseball, right? But in the midst, man, life is still going on. And you know, your agent is telling you, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And they selling these dreams. Again, ladies, when you have your own goals, you have your own ambitions. And I'm not saying this ain't happened to men who have supported women, but on the real scale, women are really not trying to blow up in rapping. Women ain't trying to go pro like men are. That's the difference in this phenomena. So when you're dealing with an unaccomplished athlete, again, just like with the rapper, you're going to have to tote the burden of things where he's going to be absent financially, sometimes physical and presence, because you know what? He's got to go to a combine. He's trying to go to this tryout. And then if he does make the team might be paying so much a month where it's still not really covering your bills, but you on this grind. It has to come to a point where when you deal with a man who's been an athlete, you have to really look and wage where he's at psychologically for this man to know, like, yo, don't you think it's time to give it up? If he ain't ready to give it up, if he's too delusional to give it up, if he still think he's got it, because when it comes to sports and athletics, this body is it. This body is what he needs to be successful. And this body's going to break down. This body's going to go through injuries. And another thing, this body has an age. When it comes to ages and teams, they looking at that age, and you know, you 29 still think you're trying to do it, bro. It's time to let it go and live life. Start coaching or something like that. All right. A lot of times in life, we think we want to be something that God ain't called you to be or called you to do. And that's the understanding of letting, you know what I'm saying? When I think of letting go and let God, that's what I think of, not just letting go of your logic and your self-will to solve problems. But that struggling, that unaccomplished athlete, and a lot of times if they become depressed, they take to the bottle, they might take to weed. Hell, sometimes they might even start doing lines because they so depressed, feeling so defeated. And guess who's going to catch the brunt of the violent temper outburst? You will. Guess who's going to catch the brunt of when he feels like he wants to escape reality because everything he worked so hard for didn't pan out in his mind the way it is? You're going to catch it. So that's another thing that you also must be mindful of. And I'm not saying every accomplished athlete will take that route. I'm not saying every unaccomplished athlete may actually feel that way. They might actually have a true lead, a true gain on something. But that's something that, ladies, you need to be mindful of when it comes to wanting to deal with men that you want to consider being in a relationship with. And mind you, the reason why I put constructive in there, because not every woman is constructive or have a constructive path of what they want to do in life. Because when it comes to relationship and marriage, you can't just do it on your own will. You have to consider your better half. The next one, the proud felon. This is a nigga that can't stay out of jail. And nowadays, I'm starting to think that guys that keep going back to jail, I'm starting to think they got a boyfriend on in there. Some. Like, who the hell wants to give up their freedom all the time? You know, I know so many women who have dealt with a guy that just stays in jail. And for what? For what reason? Because you feel like you can't make it in this white man's world, in this white man's society. You feel like you can't make it out here and be what you can be, what you want to be. Or some guys feel like, I'm not working a 9 to 5. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna grind in the mud. I'm gonna get out the mud. I'm gonna get it from the streets. But they got that stuff locked down. They got it. Man, listen, they know who pushing big weight. They know who doing what. They just allow for you to do it for so many years where they can lock your ass up forever. But what does that do for the children that you have with this guy every time he goes to jail? One bid he did 7 years, another bid he did 10 years. And nowadays, man, back in the day, that seemed like forever. Nowadays, these jail sentences, man, they fly overnight and they be right back out, seem like the next day. But what good is it for you to deal with a guy that's constantly involved in the streets, that's constantly in trouble? Don't y'all realize that a lot of these men don't realize that it's a trap? Ain't nobody finna outgame this system. You ain't finna outgame law enforcement. You ain't finna outgame the FBI. So why would you deal with a guy that constantly wants to get caught up in scamming, credit card fraud, card theft, you know what I'm saying? All types of things that constantly send them back to jail, especially the dope game. The dope game is a game for fools. I tell people that all the time. But to each his own. You hustle and get it how you live. You do it the best way that you can. But to go back and forth to jail, and then you got to look at this. You know, I talked to a few ladies who are correctional officers, and they will tell you these guys are having sex. I've seen interviews where guys come out of jail saying, no, I ain't gay because I was the one giving it to him. I didn't get it. No, nigga, you're gay. But guess what? There's a lot of STDs and germs and all kind of bad bacteria running in themselves, and then they bring it home to you. You just proud to have them out, but none of y'all even consider like protecting yourselves. You ain't even considering what this man does 24/7 locked up in a cell with another man. And again, I'm not saying all people who have felons are bad people or repeat. There are a lot of people who have felons that were frivolous charges. There are people who have felonies that got caught up just in a bad situation. So again, anything that I say is not a sweeping indictment on everybody in that situation. But you have guys that brag and embrace the fact that I'm a jail mother. I'm a nigga. I'm a street nigga. Right? To me, a proud felon. That can't help you. That's not good for you and your children and your kids. And by the time these guys even begin to mature, get a clue in life, y'all gonna be in y'all 50s. And you're gonna be wondering where the time in the years went, waiting on this motherfucker to get out of jail. And then he got the nerve to tell you, don't you give my pussy away. Motherfucker, you nigga, stop. You giving the dick away in jail? I don't know where that came from. That was kind of graphic, my bad. But it might be true. There's a lot of people, a lot of women watching this, then probably experience this and say, oh, buddy, telling the truth. Like, oh, you might be going through it right now. You need to really seriously examine if you're with a man that can't stay out of jail, that can't stay out of the streets. You better examine who the hell he really is and who he dealing with, because it's just that real. Ladies, listen, y'all got to stop this bullshit. I always say women are stupid until y'all get mad. Red flags are red for a reason, because red is an easy color to spot, which is activity, energy, and patterns. That's all you have to watch. Stop this. I see the potential in them. Damn that potential, man. Listen, if a man can at least have his own place and at least a car, and ladies, stop being worried. Stop worrying about what kind of car this man drive. If this man can get to your house without him having to call an Uber or roadside assistance. Stop being that damn bougie and that superficial that if this man could get to your house as transportation, just be happy about it, because there's a big confusion on y'all behalf about how the system works with black men that y'all have no idea about, that your education and your degree ain't going to teach you about. But listen, at least let him have that. I had to deal with my daughter. Never mind. Next. The married man. God damn. Woo. You know, this is one of the type of women I left out of the last episode when they called the 10 types of women that I say men should not deal with. Constructive men is these women who love married men, the women that are addicted to plastic, surgeries, BBLs, breast. Listen, ladies, the married man is never going to leave his wife. And I would tell guys right now, if you ever crossed a woman who made it her business to deal with a married man or married men, that is an absolute no-go. Disqualified. Listen, and I've heard all the stupid ass logic, you know, because I know one of the main logic is the married man treats you better than a single man. They'll do for you better than a single man. You ask them something, the married man will give it to you. The married man just understand more, right? But you meet a single guy that's good for you, but you put an accountability on him. If he got another chick besides you, it's an issue, but you know damn well this married man is going back home to another woman. Listen, if I was married and I had a side piece, that's not my reality. If I could keep my side piece a side piece forever and keep her in her place and keep her mouth shut and just give her what she needs from time to time, guess what? That's your place for the rest of my life. I'm not ever going to leave my wife for you. And I don't know for the life of me why y'all, how does a single woman get caught up with a married man? Now, there's different type of situations. Some people are married and separated. You just married legally. I understand that. I get that. And I have a true belief that most people don't even marry the person they're supposed to be with the first time, but they'll cross paths with the person they're supposed to be with while they're married, right? But if you seek the married man, like, what do you expect? You're doing a disservice and a disjustice to yourself. Because sooner or later, and I don't care how you draw it up, and I say this all the time because I have a character that I call the Jenny. When you get older, right? When you get older and life really starts to change for you health-wise, as well as some other factors, you're going to want that everyday reality of a man in your life. You're going to want that headache. You know, you deal with another woman's husband legally, right? But you always struggle with the fact that if you get your own guy, who's going to be his side piece? Do you ever think about that? Karma's a bitch. It's coming back around. So while you sit up there and say, I just deal with him because I don't want the everyday reality of responsibility of dealing with a man, guess what? It's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to want it sooner or later. You just too damn selfish not to go and get and deal with your own. And I know so many women that's bruised and battered that dealt with married men so long, or men who had a main woman on the side, that they don't even know how to be a girlfriend just on the solo aspect. So I'm telling you, ladies, the married man is somebody you must avoid, right? Listen, there are plenty of single men out there who could treat you the same way you claim that married man could treat you. There's plenty of single men out there who can blow your back out just like the married man can. Man, I'm telling you, I done heard all the retarded logic and rationale when it comes to dealing with married men. And I would never look at a woman the same who tells me I was in love with a married man. How the fuck you fall in love with somebody else's dealings, somebody else's legal estate? You fell in love with them. And I understand marriage from the legal aspect has nothing to do with the heart and mind. I'm not fucking with no married woman. Some men do. I don't. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I almost went Rich Pryor on y'all ass. But man, I think too highly of myself. I'm good enough to have my own everyday reality and somebody that values me the right way. Y'all just selfish as hell. I guess because, too, you already know the married man's reality. You don't know the single man's reality because you're worried about being cheated and no loyalty. I don't know. But the married man is probably, out of all this list, the main one you need to avoid. I don't care how much he pursues you. I don't care how attractive he is. You know how much, you know what I'm saying? Leave the married man alone. And a lot of y'all be talking, and you know, the majority of y'all talk that church stuff, that Christian stuff. I love God so much. And then you would go and cross a spiritual law like that. Make it make sense to me. The married man is one y'all need to leave alone. That's all I got to say about that one. The next, the man who has no tools, no guns, and no survival equipment. Ladies, if you go to a man's house and this motherfucker got a closet full of Jordans, jeans, clothes, video games, and no guns, no tools, no survival equipment, no jack to jack your car up to change a flat tire, no power drill, screw, nothing. That's a red flag. That man's a punk. He's soft. Listen, I had a kid threaten me one time. I'm gonna tell you, man, y'all don't understand. Y'all really have gotten warped on what a man looks like. It's not what he looks like. It's not how he dresses. It's not how good he smells. It's about, is this man handy? Can this man fix things? Can he solve problems? Can he protect for us? Can he provide for us? That's where handsome comes from, because he's handy. He's good with his hands. That makes him handsome, right? A lot of these, look, I had a kid threaten me one time because he didn't make the cut when I was training him at the job that I work at. Man, dude sent me all kind of stuff. I'll kill you, OG, and my partner on the 7th floor in DeKalb County, and I'm looking at this, and I can recall when I gave this motherfucker a hammer and said to bat something down to open up a valve. This motherfucker like, but I'm supposed to believe that you're a killer. You want to know what kind of man you're dealing with? Hand him a hammer and tell him to hit a nail. Hand him a screwdriver. Hand him some vice grips. Hand him a ratchet, an Allen wrench. Let's see what he does with it. If he asks you what this is, ladies, run. If you go to his garage and you don't see a tool set, run. If you ask him to come to your house to help fix you something he don't know, run. Most of the men, listen, y'all guys don't realize a lot of guys out here that can fix things, them the ones hitting your girl, right? Because women value men of value. What makes you valuable is the things that you could do with your hands that makes you handsome, to solve problems, to be able to fix things. Not only just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. That man, he better have something about him that says he's very industrious and can fix and solve things. Listen, YouTube is my best friend. You know, I used to call people to do this. Can you do that? Now, unless it gets really deep, because I'm not that mechanically inclined, but I'm inclined enough to try to fix some things on my own and learn some things, especially I didn't learn years prior. But if I can't figure it out, I promise you, I go right to YouTube and I'm going to learn how to fix it. And I feel so happy and so accomplished. Look at what makes that man happy. Does he get happy when he accomplishes and fixes something? That's what you want to really look at. That man ain't got no tools. And listen, you got to have guns. You got to protect yourself. You know, it's in 2023. It's crazy to me. It's mind blowing to me how many black people, especially black women, say, I don't want no gun. I'm scared of weapons. Okay. Until you have a traumatic event that take place and you're going to wish that you had one. You know what I mean? Survival equipment. When COVID hit, I always say country people going to survive. When COVID hit, the only ones who was on the road was essential workers. I was considered an essential worker. I was in a dump truck. It was weird being on the highways with nobody out. It seemed like almost what is the name of that show? The Walking Dead, the apocalypse, and you see these zombies. But around the inner city parts of Atlanta, there wasn't no toilet paper. There wasn't no paper towels. But when you went down in the country, they had everything. So survival, tents, flashlights, just basic bare necessity. You got more than half a tank of gas in your vehicle in case you got to move out. So you got to consider these things when it comes to looking at men, lady. Excuse me. Listen, I love Georgia. Georgia don't love me back. I didn't get allergies and sinuses until I moved to Georgia. My eyes bloodshot red. Yesterday, people probably thought my blood pressure was high. No, I had to go. I now have goggles. When I go outside, I have to put these goggles on so my eyes won't dry up. But ladies, listen. That man ain't got no tools, no guns, and survival. That might be one you might want to avoid. Now, we're talking about the constructive woman of purpose, woman who's on a mission, a woman who was driven to accomplish something that she set out to achieve in life. And I'm for everybody doing that. The next one, the video game player. My God. Even when I was a kid, I really wasn't into video games. I think the only game I really liked was MLB, Major League, because I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. And everybody remember Mike Tyson Punch-Out. And we remember Double Dribble. And yes, video games were very primitive. I think the first advanced video game that I saw was Dungeons and Dragons at Chuck E. Cheese, because it was an animation. You were controlling cartoon characters, right? But goddamn, you know what I'm saying? When I started to come of age, video games didn't mean nothing to me no more. I never thought video games would make the resurgence that it did. But now, again, technology has advanced. Xbox, the PS5, and I do understand they have capabilities beyond just playing a video game. But this thing where your dude is just with a whole bunch of other guys playing 2K. They all at the same place together. All men, all the time. I thought video games were supposed to be for kids. I could be wrong, but we are living in a different world. This is a different society. But I know, man, I ain't sat down and played a video game in years, but to each his own. But it doesn't appeal to me like other things do, like outdoors, you know what I'm saying? Four-wheeling, hunting, or something like that, going to the gun range, you know, or even get with my OG peer group and hooping. But video games, like, it don't move me like that. So I've never seen nothing like that before. And if you dealing with a grown-ass man, especially in his 40s and 50s, and his life is video games, ladies, you might want to reconsider, like, who are you dealing with now? I do understand some guys can monetize playing video games. Video games now have tournaments. They have leagues. If he's making money off of it and you're benefiting from it, that's altogether totally different. But all this other stuff with these video games, just to sit around and idly not do nothing, and this dude ain't working. He ain't fixing nothing around the house. He don't even help you pick your kids up from school. He don't even, volunteer to cook. Just sit around playing video games all day. Yo, my friend, ladies, that's on you. I've always wanted to do that like Uncle Sam. We need you. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Hey, if anybody can make it make sense, man, put it down there in the comment sections. Help me to understand the video game player just 24/7 sitting around and always with men. Listen, I be seeing these videos on IG and Facebook where the woman be half naked dancing in front of her man, want him to come in the bedroom, and he like this on the video game. Boy, stop. Like, y'all different. Listen, I ain't got to be playing no video game. I ain't got to be doing nothing. But if my lady naked, all I have to do is I'm out. Y'all dudes different, man. And then y'all wonder why y'all want to be tipping out on y'all, man. You know what I mean? Baby, I'm going to the grocery store. Okay, baby. She be at the grocery store 2 hours over Tyrone house getting her back blowed out while you up there trying to blow out somebody back on 2K or some war game. You playing somebody on the other side of the world. Boy, y'all better stop. Ladies, watch them guys on them video games. I don't get it. Them kids should be on the video games. Them guys need to be in the garage or fixing something. Sorry, that was so disrespectful. That was so rude. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Last but not least, a man who does not have a purpose for his existence. I said it earlier, man. Women typically know what they want to be and what they want to do early in life. I ask my daughter all the time. I ask the baby, what you want to be when you grow up? She has said it since the time she was like 3 years old, four. A teacher. A lot of men don't even know their purpose for existence. They don't have a purpose for existence. This is why they get caught up in the most idle situations, idle crimes, idle setbacks, just they don't know what they want to be. They don't know what they want to do. So what does that mean for you? Again, you all are catching the burden from a man who feels like you're supposed to eat this. You my woman, you my queen, you submit to me. I'm the man in the house. You follow my lead. But what's your purpose for this woman to be in your life? I ask people all the time, a lot of times people get together because the time was right. They liked each other. They was attracted to each other. The money was there. The sex was there. And then as years pass on, you start to look at each other like, why am I with this person? What do we do besides coexist and pay bills? What's the purpose? What's this person's drive? And that's when that person becomes unexciting. They become unappealing. They're not exciting. They're boring. You know who they are. We spent years together. This is almost like a work routine. I come home from work. I'm still at work, right? Because ladies, I give y'all props. I know that a lot of times when you make a commitment to be a wife, a mother, your job never stops. And I tip my hat. I commend y'all. You know what I mean? Flat out. But then again, you have to think highly enough of yourself to get a man in your life that values you enough to have a purpose for his existence. Fellas, if you don't believe me, look at that guy that just every day and pay bills. He works hard, but he don't have he don't have a purpose for his existence. That woman becomes unappealing to that woman. So now she's out at the club with her friends. She's going to happy hour. You know what I'm saying? She's in the driveway. When she pull out the driveway, she putting on lipstick in traffic because now there's a guy at work. He might be in IT, never even make eye contact, never even speak to your wife, but he's driven with a purpose to solve some type of problem in the world of technology with computers. And she admires this. So you got to have a purpose for your existence. Ladies, when you get with a guy, and this is what I don't understand, because even at 50 sometimes in the dating pool, I can't, most grown women can't even have a conversation. Or if you want to question them, why are you asking all these questions? Well, if you don't slide your dumb ass out my way, ladies, you have to have conversations with these men that you're looking at to be with, to marry, to want to procreate and start a family with. Ask this man questions. If this man can't answer certain questions, if he get upset and mad because you asking him certain questions, then you don't need to deal with him. If you are goal driven and you have purpose, you do that. And in that area, that's where you're going to find the guy that's going to fall in love with you, because he's going to admire your drive, what you stand for, and the problems that you solve that impact all of society, everyone, not just black people, everyone. So that pretty much wraps up the list. I could have easily threw in a deadbeat, but why throw in a deadbeat? You know that, well, no, I can't give y'all that much credit, because I ain't gonna lie, a lot of y'all women make some dumbass decisions when it comes to men. You go and make a baby with a guy that don't even deal with his own children. He ain't paid child support in years. Not that I agree with the child support system, but I'm just saying sometimes y'all really just don't really psychoanalyze these men y'all looking at. Y'all get caught up in the physical reality. Just like, I was looking at, man, I seen some. We can be a simple people, because I was looking at this guy online today and I'm wondering why is this dude popping up. So he's a model that's well endowed, and that's all he does. He's model and shows off his right. So in the comments, of course, women are like, oh, he a king, he's the hubby. What make him the hubby? Because he well endowed. And I could have said the same thing like with men with money. Y'all want men with money, well endowed, no kids, right? And you get this man, excuse me, and you get this man to think he's going to be loyal to you. Listen, all the hoes want this man. And this man has hoes. Plenty of them. So what really do you want? Right? This is why I got out of the thing of saying what a real man is, what a real woman is. People have different requirements and things to them that makes that person real and good to them. There's also another reason why, and y'all, you know what? Y'all think y'all slick. I told y'all I don't really get into this man and woman shit and this relationship. This gonna be it. Don't ask me this again, y'all. Y'all think y'all slick, right? And don't let them numbers that YouTube put at the bottom of the screen fool y'all. It's a lot of people watching these shows. So, but YouTube want to send me these analytics in private. Your numbers are like, fuck out of here, bro. But at least I got 2 advertisements on 2 of my old videos, which makes me real excited. So, but yeah, man. So basically, ladies, y'all have to become smart, think more highly of yourself. And I tell people all the time with our community, the most redundant conversations we're having about relationships. I see it all the time. What a man should do, what a man shouldn't do, what women should do, what women shouldn't do. Men and women, blah, 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 blah. This shit is played. It's bludgeoned. It's over. Like, if you're going to like somebody, you'll know you're supposed to be with that person. I personally think we need to not pay attention to each other to that form of wanting to always be together, always look for love, always look for relationships. If you find something that absolutely drives your existence, if you have a purpose that pushes you every single day of life, that's where you need to exist. That there is your domain. Point blank, period. Comprende, right? So ladies, don't say I ain't never gave you nothing, but these are the 10 types of men that you need to watch out. If you're trying to do something with your life, if you're serious about family, because most of y'all are, if you want to start a family and have children, because most of y'all do, and I admire that and I respect that. These are the type of men that you might just want to avoid. And I tell guys all the time, people criticize the beta male. I don't. I said in my last episode, there are a lot of things about me. I want my daughters to find a man that they see their daddy in. But boy, it's a lot of things that I'll be like, you know what? I don't really think I want my daughters to deal with that with a certain type of characters and certain things that I do. I don't want my daughter to deal with that. So I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with finding you a cornball. Ain't nothing wrong with just getting you a simple guy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm cool with it. Most of the simple guys make the best husbands ever. You understand what I'm saying? It's the alphas you can't deal with. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't ready for this alpha male shit. Y'all's not ready. Especially y'all dominant ass women, bro. Like, I don't mind the alpha female. Just don't try to dominate me. Because I don't like no weak ass woman who don't have her own voice, her own mind. I just don't. But don't try to dominate me. Don't try to tell me how to go about how I should do things with you. It'll never work. You know what I mean? Ask questions to solve any type of problem. Don't come impose your will. It ain't gonna work with no true alpha male. I'm just saying. Other than that, again, enjoyed you. I'm always grateful for anybody who decides to sit in and listen to whatever I have to say, because, you know, I'm not really saying anything that you can't figure out yourself. I'm really not. So, you know, for you to value whatever content that I put on here, I appreciate you greatly. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a problem solver to tell a problem solver to come on in And listen, this is the place where we're bringing sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity. We want to rise above this madness, which is called Black culture. And the biggest mistake that you could ever make is to think that you have time. Peace.